This is the strategy that works. We've been doing this for the last 3.5 years, and it's going to get the most levels of engagement.
Because I say it respectfully. It's time to eat up, right like a speeder, taking it deeper, and that's how it better be. I never let the comparison get to me. I just remember the promises meant for me. I know the enemy and that he's sent for me. I keep the blood of the lemons, my centerpiece. I cannot trust in no crystals or energy. Look at the chemistry, it do not even mix chemically. Most of the tricks, they be gimmicks, they mimic the truth. It's poison and we got the remedy.
And what we're looking for is people that are hungry, wanting to hustle, wanting to break through walls, wanting to go after that legendary status.
They say you ain't about it. Tell them that you finna make it, but they doubt it. But you rose like the flower. Tell me what it's like to live with superpowers. I don't know, but I'ma get it. I'ma get it. I'ma get it. I'ma get it. I just know that I'ma get it. I'ma get it. I'ma get it. I'ma get it. I'ma get it.
What's up, guys? I'm Kyle Milan. It's Tuesday. It's noon. So what does that mean? It means it's time to talk about some industrial marketing. Industrial marketing, manufacturing marketing. For those of you new to the content, if you want to head over to YouTube, hit the subscribe button, turn on notifications. We have now, I think, 1,670 videos about industrial marketing, industrial sales. That's all I know. That's all I talk about. CEO of MFG Tribe. For the last 9 years, we have been tackling the space of industrial marketing and now taking over the space of it to be the biggest, the baddest, the best in the space when it comes to stuff that works today. This is not stuff that works 2, 3, 4 years ago necessarily. It's stuff that works today. The landscape is shifting. People are shifting. The strategies are shifting. The algorithms are changing. So you got to stay on top of it. That's what we're all about here. We're trying to provide as much value as possible. For those of you coming from YouTube, watching this live or on the replay, head over to LinkedIn and give me a follow to get daily content. We post about 5 times a day on my profile. Be sure to also follow MFG Tribe's company page because we got some exciting behind-the-scenes stuff that we post up there, especially with FabTech coming up. For those of you that are going to FabTech this year in Orlando, put in the comment section that you're going to FabTech. We will be there. We have a booth in the metal forming hall, 10 by 20 booth. We're bringing, 13, 14, 15 people from the office to it for the entire week. It's going to be fun stuff. We got some amazing raffle items, giveaways, doing custom videos. It is going to be a dope show. If you guys are going to IMTS next month, put that you're going to be at IMTS because I will be there Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday for IMTS. So looking forward to seeing you guys. Today we're talking about opportunities and challenges in industrial marketing for B2B companies. Every single time I see a challenge, I always see it as an opportunity. That's just the way that I'm wired, this way that my mind works. So we're going to go through some challenges and opportunities. Take those notes. I got 3 for you, 3 challenges and 3 opportunities from those challenges. Let's get into it. Let's jump over to the whiteboard. So the first challenge, where's the hot spot, Riley? Here?
A little more to the left.
Here?
Right there, yep.
All right, this is the no-no square. This is the no-no circle. For those of you that are old, no-no square. All right, so these are going to be challenge, and this is going to be the op. So we're just going to do simple 2 columns. The challenge, the first challenge that you guys are facing is going to be mindset. What do I mean by that? Those of you that have been in this space or even are new to this space, you're going to come up with this challenge of the mindset of upper management. This does not matter if you are a small 11 to 50 company, or if you're a large 5,000 plus company. We've dealt with both sides of it. I've been in numerous meetings with potential customers, current customers. Doesn't matter the size. Our biggest customer, around 250 billion. Smallest customer, let's say, is 10 million, 15 million. The challenges are still the same. It's the mindset at a lot of these companies that you have to understand and go into knowing that it's old school, it's traditional, it's digital. A lot of the times, not all the times, but a lot of times it's, do we really need to spend money on marketing? What should our budget be? Do we really need outside resources? Should we really be focusing on all these areas? It's a mindset that you have to change of management, upper management, ownership level, board, etc. It's just slower in manufacturing. It's slower in industrial. I always say that industrial is like 3 to 5 years behind the curve of what is working today with digital marketing that everybody else in the world is on and making those adjustments. Manufacturing is like 3 to 5 years behind when we first audit. What are you guys currently doing? The first time we talk to any potential customer, I want to understand a couple high-level things. Number one, what are you currently doing? Number two, what are you trying to do with your business revenue-wise, whether it's brand, revenue, product, category, et cetera. And then it comes down to what are the type of financial resources that you have to do it, because that controls speed. But the first thing is, what are you doing? It's usually, even at companies, and I don't want to say like smaller companies, but companies that are 50 million, 100 million, 150 million, 200 million, even at companies of that size, you're talking like these are big companies. They have a marketing team of 1 or 2, and that's it. On the flip side, we've got clients that are in the 50 to 250 million range that have a marketing team of 7. So I can't even say like, oh, these industries, these size companies, I can't even say that this is what the mindset is because it's so different. But in general, marketing is the smallest department. As we build lists and do research and stuff like that for ourselves, for every 1 marketing person, you got like 5 to 7 salespeople typically at a company. So marketing is the smallest department usually. They usually have the smallest budget because of the mindset. At companies where the mindset is old school, traditional, like, oh yeah, let's just do trade shows and let's do some advertising in magazines and publications, stuff like that. That's all we need to do. That's old school mindset. Everybody's going digital. Everybody's doing search. Everybody's looking for you guys. And if you're not showing up, you're not ever going to get the call for the RFQ. So you got to start with understanding like the mindset is different. What industrial people want is proven results and being better than their competitors. They're so competitive, which I love because I'm naturally competitive myself, as is our team here, personally and professionally. And so they're competitive to where manufacturing clients are still like, oh, I don't want to put a lot of them, I would say half. I don't want to put my clients up on the website because I don't want our competitors to steal our customers from us. And on the flip side, other companies are like, dude, I don't care if they know who it is. We've got a good relationship with them, which is really what it should be. You should have such a good relationship with your customer that it doesn't matter if your competitor contacts them, they're still going with you. And that's kind of how I view things. Like throw our customers up there. If they steal business from us, so be it. That's just the nature of the beast. But going into the mindset, understanding that they want to move slow, they need proof, they need to understand that this is going to work for their specialty, their niche. You know, you don't understand my industry, you don't understand my people. That's the type of mindset. Or on the flip side of it, they're like, the mindset is, yeah, well, let's just find any B2B agency, right? Which is a completely different issue. But if the mindset is the issue, then the solution to it, if that's the challenge, is the mindset, the solution to it, and what you have to explain to them is that what we really want to do, what we really want to focus on is just to be different. I know that's kind of vague, but let's go into what that means. So if the current mindset was producing results, getting them revenue, getting them leads, everything's going fine, they'd not be open to any conversation. They'd be like, we want controlled growth, we're growing at a certain pace, et cetera, et cetera. That's perfectly fine. But if they're like, things aren't going well, you can't keep doing the same thing. So you have to tell them, look, things are different now, man. Like we got to change it up. You got to be different. You can't keep doing the same thing because the market has shifted and they're focusing in different areas. Like trade show, let's say your trade show leads are down. That doesn't necessarily mean abandon that one trade show or those 2 trade shows you're doing. It means you have to be different at the trade show. You can't just keep showing the same things in your marketing material. You can't have the same booth backdrop. We can't send the same people because they've shown that the results are not there. Now, some trade shows totally should pull out and abandon. But at a minimum, I would say one solid trade show that's really niche focused or really industry focused to you is a good play to have, but you got to go all in and you got to be different than everybody else. Anything to get attention. In order to shift the mindset, you have to say, hey, we're not getting any attention right now. We have to be different. What does that mean? That's where you get into what is our strategy? What does our marketing strategy look like for the rest of 2024, for 2025? So look at it from the standpoint of if a potential customer searches for you, you'd like to show up, correct? Yes, of course you would. In order to do that, you have to have a strong SEO strategy that you're doing every single month with an agency, preferably, because they have the resources just like we do. The flip side of it is like, if they're on social, they may not be searching for you on social, but they're on social media. They're on LinkedIn specifically. Then you need to be present there. So if we look at the strategy and kind of like the 4 pillars, 5 pillars, is going to be showing up in search, so organic SEO, showing up in social, or the company, you guys putting stuff in front of them on social, being aggressive with outbound. So you need to be having a strong LinkedIn strategy. You need to be doing something with email marketing, not traditional email marketing, but you need to be doing something with sales sequences, building out robust lists, bringing new people into the pipeline, following up with them, etc. Email marketing CRM system, that's the 3rd leg. And the 4th one is you got to be creating content, which we'll get into in bullet point number 3. But you got to be different. In order to change the mindset, you can't go to upper management and be like, yeah, so what we're going to do is I need $100,000 or $1 million for a budget, or $10 million, and we're going to keep doing these same things, but we're going to do it slightly different. No, go in there and shake it up. There's so many times I talk to marketing people and they're like, yeah, I need to convince my boss who's the owner, or I need to convince my boss who's the VP of strategy or comm or whatever it is, that we need a bigger budget, that we need to be doing these things. Okay, number 1, come with results. Number 2, make sure that whoever you're bringing to the table is focused on the niche that you're in. And number 3, you got to come with something different. So you have to come and say, this is what we've been doing. Nobody can argue with data. This is what we've been doing. The data's proven that this is what it can generate. In order to be different, we have to do these things. And you can use competitors and say, hey, our competitors are doing these things, and it looks like it's getting good results, but you have to be different and present that to them. So challenge number 1, mindset. The opportunity from that is be different. It's so easy and simple, but I understand because I've been in your shoes before when I was in manufacturing directly, and I'm in your shoes every single time we talk to somebody, and it's like, yeah, we want to do this stuff, but upper management is like, oh, let's walk before we run, let's crawl. Okay, that's fine. If you want to take a long time to get to where you want to go to, perfectly fine. Let's stack this up in different phases. But if you're trying to go from 0 to 60, if you're trying to have a 15, 20, 25% increase year over year in revenue, or you're trying to be more drastic than that, then you have to spend the money, take time out of the equation, and just go all in on it. Number 2, challenge. I already touched on this. It's going to be resources. Resources. And what I mean by resources is not just people, I mean money, financial and human resources. Because the marketing departments are small, they're not going to be like, yeah, Susie, you can go and hire a marketing team of 5. Some companies do that, but a lot of them don't. They're just like, oh, we need to be doing those things, go find somebody that can do it. So they have challenges with resources internally. So if you don't have the internal people to do the things, then you have to go outside and find an agency that has resources. But if you don't have the budget, the other side of resources, then you're not going to be able to afford to do the things you need to do. So the budget has to be realistic with what you're wanting to do. If you're looking to make a splash, increase brand awareness significantly, get a pipeline, a healthy pipeline going, at a minimum, you're looking at like 50, 60, 70,000 a year. Unless you're a super small company, that's the minimum point of entry to get in there. And that's doing a little bit of a couple of areas. If you're trying to go big, 150, 200, 250, now you can do more in those pillar areas where you've got content, web, SEO, PPC, email marketing, CRM, those types of things. Now you're talking 6 figures plus. So 100, 200, 250,000 to get you going. Now from a PPC standpoint, if you're trying to go real big and get like a 9 to 10x multiplier of your ad spend, you're gonna have to be spending 5, 10, 20, 30,000 a month. Depending on what it is that you do, you're going to have a decent PPC spend. So you have to be in the right mindset with your expectations, upper management, of the resources you have. I don't have the people for this. And if I want to add more people, then I need to train them because they don't know my industry. They don't know my niche. They have marketing experience, but not my niche. Okay, yeah, totally get that. I deal with that on a daily basis, especially as we're growing, bringing people in. It's like, hey, just so you know, this is not super fancy Nike, Under Armour type stuff. We're dealing with like metal stampers, press companies, robotics, plastics, etc. So you got to understand, like, I don't have the resources to do it, so I have to go to the outside, but my budget is not like, I'm looking to spend $30,000 a year. That's not going to get you anywhere. So you have to have the right mindset with, if you don't have the internal resources to do it, then you have to have the resources from a budget standpoint. So what's the opportunity there? You got to work with somebody that knows what they're doing. And that has to come from a niche agency. And I'm not just saying that because we are one, but you can work with us at MFG Tribe. We work with industrial manufacturing companies. That's all that we do. But it doesn't matter what you're selling. It doesn't matter if you're in insurance. Like, wouldn't you rather focus and work with a company that understands and only focuses on your niche? There's tons of B2B agencies. A lot of what they do is really, really great. Industrial manufacturing is different. Ops, purchasing, engineering, marketing, and selling to those three job functions in general is different. And people will be like, oh, but it's a person and I'm in the people industry and I market to people. So yes, totally agree with that. They're just people at the end of the day, but they're people in a niche that is old school traditional, that needs certain types of messaging, branding, images, etc., certain ways that they search, certain things that convince them to build trust with you. They are different. And so work with an agency that knows it. It doesn't have to be us. It could be anybody in the industrial space. That will give you a further leg up on your competition than those that are just like, yeah, I typed in B2B agency Chicago, B2B agency Dallas, and I'm working with this agency. The amount of time you're going to spend teaching that agency what it is that you do before you realize 6 to 9 months later that they don't get it and aren't producing results, then you're starting all over from scratch. So it's time that is wasted, which is impacting your growth, etc. So if you owned an insurance company, if you owned a law firm, you would love, I'm sure, to work with an agency that only works in your niche. That's all they know. If you wanted to buy a new car and you wanted a sports car, you wouldn't go to, sorry for the hate, but you wouldn't go to Kia if you wanted a sports car, right? Let's be honest here. If you want a sports car, you're going to go to people that sell sports cars. If you want an exotic car, you're not going to go to Chevy. Like, you need to play in the space and go after the space that you are in to understand it. If you're selling machines, or if you're a machine shop, let's say, and there was agencies that only worked with machine shops in the space of aerospace, that would be the niche within the niche. Now, whether or not their marketing strategy works and their people are effective in it, that's different. That's like to be determined. But they're going to know what it is that you do. So you're going to check that off and say, I don't need to explain what it is that we do. Now, whether or not they suck or not, that's up to you to determine, or other people leaving reviews. But if the challenge is you don't have the resources, then the opportunity is work with somebody in a niche agency. It's that simple. Number 3, challenge. And I can't do a 3 apparently. Number 3 challenge is, yeah, but Kyle, it's competitive. Competitive. I think I spelled that right. Yeah, Kyle, it's a competitive market. Yeah, I know. Like, how many machine shops are there in the United States? Thousands. Injection molders, robotic integrators, robotic companies, press manufacturers, press feeding companies, box people, distributors, chemical companies, compounder, like every single industry, vertical robots, cobots, machine tending equipment. There are at least hundreds, dozens to hundreds, if not thousands of your competitors just in the United States. I know it's competitive. I know that if you've got something new, like we just signed a client that is doing something that is completely different in the industry space for the machining world, completely different. Their competition is traditional. They're competing with what people are currently buying. So even your new great idea, your competition is not other people with that same idea. It's what are people used to doing. So it's kind of like laptops. When laptops first came out, it wasn't like, oh my God, we're the first people with a laptop, we have no competition. No, the competition that you have when you first developed a laptop was a desktop. Why is a laptop better? Why am I going to pay that higher price for a laptop? Oh, it's portable. Yes, but what if that doesn't matter to the person? What if they don't care that it's portable? They're used to a desktop at their desk in the corner of their house. So each new thing comes with convincing traditional people that isn't good anymore. Smart light switches are super popular. Now they're more affordable, but when they first came out, they were more expensive. Why do I need a smart light switch? Why do I want to be able to control my lights? They were having to compete with traditional people that are like, nope, I just need a regular light switch that's like 89 cents. I don't need a $68 light switch. But then they had to pitch it as like, but you get these benefits of being able to control your light switches when you don't want to get up off the couch and turn it off. And you can set timers. Now we're competing with the timers that Christmas trees, etc. Like everything's now smart. So no matter what your new thing is, there's always a traditional that's a competition. And you people in industrial and manufacturing have so much competition. Look at even on the consumer side of industrial, whether it's drills or liquids or coolants or fluids or even WD-40 stuff, they've got competitors, right? So the opportunity from that, if your competition is massive, which it is in industrial, your solution and opportunity from that is content. So I kind of talked about it in bullet point 1 of like being different. It all comes down to content. If there's only 1,000 people in the United States searching for a search phrase in industrial a month, that's a lot of people that are going after that 1,000, just a small group of people. A lot of businesses are trying to fight over that. In order for you to stand out, you have to be different. In order to be different, you have to create content. That's just what works right now. In any other B2B world, I would say content is not the main differentiator, but in industrial, it is. That's why we have a content team, a video team of 5 here internally, because video content specifically gets the most engagement, because we operate and move and shift our strategy based on what the market says. So if we're doing a campaign for a client and we're marketing for a client and video is getting the most engagement, then we then market video more and tell all of our other clients, guys, here's what we want to do, test it out, look, it's working, let's do more, build out the team underneath it. Same thing with written content. We have a written content team of 4 or 5 right now. Written content works. So half the people want to read, half the people want to watch. But you have to look at what everybody else is doing. Everybody in industrial is doing trade shows. They've got a website to a certain extent. They all have the same ISO standard if you're on the service side. I'm ISO 2015, cool, so is everybody else. AS 9100, cool, so is everybody else. 13485, yep, we do medical too. I've got a clean room, class 8, yep, we do too. Everybody's the same. So how are you going to stand out if you're in that situation where all your competition has the same capabilities, the same tech? If you're on the service side of, let's say, like plastics, I've got different tonnage range of machines. If you're on the machining side, I've got different machinery that we use. I've got different niches that I focus in. We only do this one niche of aerospace. But regardless of what you're doing, if people don't know about it, it doesn't matter. And the way to get to people and know about it is to, 1, go back to my strategy of the 4 pillars of search, social, content, and email, like getting out in front of people. But you can't just keep posting on social like a graphic and expect it to produce tremendous results. You have to be different. Here's an article. Here's a guide. Here's a white paper. Here's a case study. Here's a video. Here's a tutorial. Here's frequently asked questions. You got to create content and then push it out to the specific channels to then get the attention, to then bring them into your website, to then convert them into a potential opportunity. But it starts with content. You can't, the days of just like crafting a very, creative email and send it to people like, oh my God, the way that I wrote this email, this is going to get people hooked. That works in B2C and that works in other B2B. In industrial, it's straight direct to the point. Hey, I got this service, I got this product, these are the things that it solves, this pain point of yours, do you want it or not? That's basically, in layman's terms, what it's like. But if you had a piece of content that said, hey Joe, we help solve a problem just like one that you're probably facing at one of your competitors or somebody else in the space, here it is. So it has to be relevant, right? Because they have to build that trust. So direct and to the point, it can't just be creative words. So like I said, other industries may work. In industrial, it works less. Not saying it doesn't work, just works less. But you have to start with a piece of content. We made this, I want to provide value to you by teaching you something, education, or entertaining you with something, if it's a video, or giving you a tool or resource that you can use, or making you think outside the box about this case study of how we had this other company, we helped this other company, and then you think outside the box internally about like, oh yeah, this other, one of our competitors or somebody in the space, they did this thing. We should look at that too. Oh, look at that. It's valuable to us. So you have to create some piece of valuable content that's going to educate or entertain people and then push it out to the sources and be aggressive with making sure you're in all the different areas. So regardless of how much competition there is, I feel like in the agency world, there's so much competition. I'm dealing with competition in our niche of industrial manufacturing. I'm dealing with competition of B2B. People are like, B2B marketing agency, yeah, those are my competitors. Unfortunately, most of them don't know anything about industrial. Most of the time, if they can wow the customer and convince them, no, you need to come with us. We're the best in B2B. We know this. We've got a team of 160 people. We work with the biggest brands, and they somehow convince a manufacturing company to go with them. And then they shit the bed and don't produce the results. And that manufacturing company then comes back and they're like, you know what? We do want to talk to you because we tried it out for 6 to 9 months and it didn't work. So we've got us, industry, general B2B, and then now people are like, no, I don't want to pay you 20, 40, 60, $100,000 to do the website. I can just pay this freelancer that says he'll do it for $5,000. Yep, we deal with that too. So we've got the most competition, just like you guys do. And the only way to stand out from them is to be different with content and then push it out in all the areas. So guys, we're going to take a short break, come back. Hopefully there's some comments or questions in it. Watch this quick video. Hopefully it's a quick one. Hopefully it's a dope one. Riley's smiling, so it must be a dope video. We'll be right back.
The video is important because this is what people are engaging with right now. So if you're not currently producing videos at scale or working with an agency like ours that has the team and the expertise to get that attention, then essentially you're missing out on opportunities. And what's going to happen is once you finally do wake up in a year, 2 years, 3 years, the market's already moved on to something more advanced and something more in depth with video, and you're just going to be that much further behind the 8 ball.
In the last year alone, MFG Tribe has created over 1,500 videos.
We have a dedicated process to make sure that our clients are getting our best video work that we can.
In the end, the goal of a video is to show you a brand, what they do, who they are, and why. And I love that.
We really believe in what video can do for marketing.
I'll put my video team against any agency out there that's in this space. Nobody's looking to be average, right? So fuck average, be legendary. Stop working with those companies that think that they know your industry. Work with those that actually do know it.
All right, guys, we're back. Let's jump into the comments, questions that you guys have. Riley, take it away. Hopefully you like that video. Who made that video, Riley?
That was me.
That was Riley's video. If you guys like that video that you just saw, you better give Riley some props for that.
All right.
Was it really you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Tim Drinkwater has a question, or this is a comment actually. It says, great point. Spent a lot of time training our ERP consultant what I consider to be the basics of manufacturing.
Yeah, it just ERP systems, right? Ideally, you want like a manufacturing ERP system. Somebody has a lot of experience manufacturing. Sometimes that's too expensive. ERPs are insane, hundreds of thousands of dollars just to start. So you go with something that's affordable within your budget, or maybe you don't need all those bells and whistles of an enterprise thing, and you're like having to explain to them, no, that doesn't work for us. We got to be like this. I mean, that's just ridiculous. But that is software. I mean, we deal with it too with software that we partner with, and especially on the marketing side, or even hiring employees, people for the office, people in sales, people in marketing, whatever it is, explaining what you do, and they're like, okay, yeah, they usually don't get it.
And Jeff Ray has a question. Suggestions for targeting a niche market, refurbished machinery sales specifically. 1, how to find/engage new customers. 2, keeping customers from one-off sales engaged so that they will reach out to us months or years later when they have a need.
Yeah, so 1 was how to find them. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so so Jeff, in your niche of like used equipment, I mean, I don't know, that could be up there with probably one of the most competitive markets, right? Everybody's got used equipment that they're selling, auctions, people shutting down. They do it, people are doing it out of their house and being like, no, I don't have the equipment. It's at the actual place. I think you need to look at the demographic of who's using your equipment and the value proposition that you're providing to them. There has to be some sort of algorithm, like, you know, your customer. Is it, you typically deal with companies in this employee range or revenue range. And in this specific industry is going to use this specific type of equipment. There's people that are always looking for new, and there's people that are always looking for used. So understanding who is that target demographic, and then trying to reverse engineer that profile and create an ideal customer profile to where the customers that you love the most. So take your top 10, top 20 customers that are repeat buyers or people that are easy to convert, and look for all of their competitors and anybody else in that space. Maybe it's a specific industry, geographic location, size of company, revenue-wise, how many facilities or plants that they have, or what is their end product that they're using it for in the industry that they're in. Look at all that and create an ideal customer profile. And then you really just gotta, if you can use Zoom Info to reverse engineer that search, or Seamless AI or a list tool like that. If not, you're gonna have to go to Google and start to build it out. And you can also do it on LinkedIn, right? Like look at the companies on LinkedIn and look for what industry are they listed in as LinkedIn, which is gonna be different than Zoom Info and Seamless AI, because LinkedIn has their own industries. Start there and look for all their competitors. So that's really the basics of where to start. And then sometimes you have to, I don't love going shotgun approach, but sometimes you have to go a little bit more spread out to then find the people that at this point in 2024 are raising their hand and have a need. Because you can't just say like, oh, I know that it's going to be aerospace because they're booming, but you're forgetting about the other industries potentially. So sometimes you got to go a little bit wide to then figure out, okay, what's hot right now, what industry, what company size, what et cetera is hot right now. It's these guys. I'm going to focus more attention on that while still paying attention to everybody else, but I'm going to focus more of my direct attention on that. That's number one. Number two, the second question was
how to keep customers from being one-off sales and make sure that they come back to you years or months later when they have a need.
Yeah, so the only way to do that, Jeff, is you got to stay in front of them. So number one, it's like the experience that they had when they first came in and became a customer. What was that experience like? Were you easy to do business with? Were you transparent with pricing? Did you provide good service, value, et cetera? Then number two is, what did you do after they became a customer? What was the follow-up? Did you send them some swag, some gifts? Did you send them something every couple of months? Whether that's email marketing, thinking of you, something in the mail. Like, I think sending them something in the mail is awesome. Putting them on some sort of subscription that you have where you just like send them coffee or a box of cookies every quarter or something like that to stay in front of them. Because there's tons of people that you have so much competition in your space of used equipment that they could just get enticed by somebody else that's hard, aggressive marketing to them in 3, 6, 9, 12 months or 2 years. They're like, oh yeah, I'm gonna talk to this guy. But if the experience that they had was not memorable, or you don't stay in front of them, then they will just forget about you. So something as simple as, like I said, there's companies out there that build swag boxes for you, put it on some sort of cycle where twice a year, it can't just be the Christmas card at the end of the year. Twice a year, you're sending them some sort of gesture of your appreciation for them. That's meaningful to them, ideally. But even if it's generic, like we get, I said the story a couple lives ago. Oracle, who we're not a customer of, sends us a box of brownies. It's like 4 to 6 brownies every single month. If I had a need, I would go to Oracle. I'm not even a customer of theirs. So imagine if we were a customer of theirs, how they probably treat them. So you got to make it memorable. Got to keep that follow up. Email marketing campaigns every few months, newsletters, giving them tools. Putting stuff in front of them. Hey, I know that you just bought some equipment. We just had these things come in. Just wanted to make you aware. Or when you're first converting them as a customer, hey, is it okay if I put you on our newsletter? It's a quarterly newsletter or a monthly newsletter. Just let you know what we have in stock, what we have coming down the pipeline on refurbishment or on stuff that we've purchased, etc. Can I keep in touch with you? And they'll be like, yeah, put me on the list. Is there anybody else at your company that you want me to add to this list? I don't want them to get pissed off and say that I'm spamming them, but ask for that permission to sign them up for the newsletter. That's one way to stay in front of them. What else you got?
Mr. Drinkwater has a question on what is your take on the Google ruling? And since this is pretty recent, I did pull up some info on this.
All right.
And it may actually change how advertising and stuff is going to work. So a federal judge has ruled that Google acted illegally to maintain a monopoly in online search. That they paid Apple and Samsung billions of dollars to automatically promote Google as the search query on their devices. So that was the ruling, and there is no action yet, but the judge will decide the action. So I guess that could change.
Like a federal judge?
Yeah.
That's all such BS. Like, here's how I say it. It's Google, right? Like, so they paid Apple and Samsung to promote them. That's advertising. Like, what's the issue with that? I disagree with that. You've got Yahoo, you got Bing, you got DuckDuckGo. You go to each one, like certain demographics use certain things, but it's not like they bought all of them, right? So I know that the feds can come in and say, you can't buy these companies, I believe, because then you would have a monopoly, but there's other things out there. So for them to create a partnership with phone manufacturers to then pay them money to promote them, that's just advertising. So what are my takes on it? I think it's a witch hunt. I think that nothing's going to come from it because it is Google. They're going to get hit with some sort of fine, and they're going to have to pay the fine, but nothing's going to change because all of those people are in their pocket because they're big tech. Like, who's got more money in tech than Google? Like, show them to me. And then what's going to come from this is, oh, the so-and-so judge's campaign received donations from these companies, and everybody's in the pocket of all the big tech companies. So I think it's just somebody got pissed off, filed some stuff, and it's just a show to be like, yeah, we're going to punish you, but they're not going to take anything away from Google. Google owns the space and always will.
And then we have a question from a viewer just to give a short recap of what we've talked about.
Short recap of what we talked about. So what we talked about is the challenges and opportunities in industrial marketing. You want to throw the whiteboard up there? Yeah. Challenge number 1 is the mindset, old school mindset, traditional mindset. The opportunity for you is to be different by doing the 4 pillars of marketing, which are web, or which are SEO, social with LinkedIn, content, and email marketing. Number 2 challenge is the resources. They don't have the resources available to them. In order to circumvent that, the opportunity is focus on working with a niche agency and just work with somebody like us or anybody in industrial space that's going to be better and get you further than a traditional B2B agency. And then challenge number 3 is it's a competitive landscape. There's so much competition, thousands of your competitors doing the same thing essentially. Don't hit me in the comments like, but we're different because we have better service. Okay, everybody says that same shit. Better service, better engineering, etc. Yep, everybody says it. So it's competitive. The way to stand out is to make content. That is my summary in 68 seconds. Was that 68 seconds?
I don't know exactly.
Okay. It could have been.
And then last question we have, Tim Drinkwater asks, what's the white hat in the background?
That white hat is an MFG Tribe hat. That's right there. And that is, let's show that thing off. We've got probably the best swag for industrial side, industrial agencies. We've got the best swag, right? This one's got hashtag industrial on the back. That was actually a misprint by the hat company, but this is one of our hats that we give employees. And also, if you guys are going to be at FabTech in Orlando or at any trade shows, we usually have some of those strategically give those away. So we've got white hats, black hats. I'm thinking that one of these days, Riley, we might have to create like shop.mfgtribe.com and allow people to buy this. That's not a cheap hat.
Yeah.
Okay. So
they're
like
good hats.
The first time that I bought hats for us, I went through like one of those, who was it? Custom ink type things. And it's like, oh yeah, I want a trucker hat. Got those trucker hats, man. Those trucker hats were garbage that I got. They're so cheap. These things are $37 a piece that we pay for them with our logo on them. We've spent probably $7,000 to $10,000 this year on hats alone. Once you hit a certain time frame here at the company, you get company swag. Everybody gets hats if they want them, and then we give them away to current customers, get some packages from us, and then we also give them away at trade shows strategically because $35 hats and $35 Yeti tumblers with our logo on it. I'm not trying to break the bank and be poor, giving away all of our swag. All right, Riley giving me a thumbs up. That means that there's no more questions. I appreciate you guys taking the time, asking these questions, leaving these comments, giving me your attention for the last 40 minutes. We'll be back live next week on Tuesday. If you guys haven't already subscribed to the YouTube channel, head over there and do that. Turn on notifications. Be on the lookout for next week's live. Do we know the topic yet?
We do, but I'll pull it up.
We don't know. Riley knows the topic. I don't know the topic, but be on the lookout for that. Follow me on LinkedIn, and we will see you on the next one.